Okay, I got a voicemail that actually it's sort of I don't know if it's a troll or someone just trying to instigate, but they actually bring up something really important that I've discussed before. So let's take a listen to it. I'll remind you, our voicemail number is 2192 David P. A few reminders with peace and love. If you leave a 3-minute voicemail and get cut off and call back because you had something that was longer than 3 minutes and you have to finish it, the voicemail is not getting played. We've never played these 3-minute voicemails on the show. So keep them pithy, keep them short, get right to the point. Let's take a listen to this one that came in overnight.
Hey, David. I was curious how you and other self-described progressive pundits on YouTube are content with profiting off of...
First of all, the word is pundit, not pundent. But go ahead.
Right-wing controversy while simultaneously decrying the far right. For example, you, Sam Cedar, Kyan Kulinski, the Young Turks, etc., are arguably their biggest platform. For example, you felt compelled to appear on Jesse Lee Peterson's show not only once, but twice, because somehow appearing on a racial sellout podcast is going to help the civil discourse in America. Then you also interviewed Richard Spencer, a literal Nazi, have had Ben Shapiro on, and most recently, Sam Harris, who's a race realist and is on record saying, people just don't know how to get arrested, quote unquote, in response to racial profiling in the U.S. How is this not more counterproductive than beneficial to the free marketplace of ideas and civil discourse in America? Thank you, David.
So listen, there's a bunch of different issues here that we need to discuss. First of all, this idea of profit. You're against right-wing ideas, but you profit by criticizing them. I just don't even understand that argument. It's like, oh, you're an environmental cleanup company advocating for corporations to be more careful so that they don't destroy the environment. You're against environmental destruction, but you're profiting from cleaning it up. I mean, that's a very, very weak argument. I think the more interesting question here is one of responsible platforming and of making decisions sort of for the greater good. I've said this before. When we do a show, we do a mix of policy analysis, things like what should government regulation of social media look like? And we spend a half hour dealing with that. And we do comments about, stories about Trump's latest unhinged tweets or whatever. My approach has always been, we want to do the most good possible. And part of doing the most good possible is having the largest possible audience while still being able to do the stories we want to do. So when we do the story about Trump's erratic tweets or Trump's erratic rally or whatever, it is not the deepest, most important policy analysis, but it gets a lot of attention and it brings people into our universe, who then are in our universe when we do the policy analysis about government regulation of social media or comparing different healthcare plans and different ways in which Medicare for All could be implemented or whatever. So I find it to be, there's this guy named Carl Benjamin. You might know him as Sargon of Akkad. He once accused me of using clickbait YouTube titles. And I brought him on a couple of years ago and I said, it sounds like what you're accusing me of doing is picking YouTube titles that will make people want to watch the videos. If the titles are accurate, it's called marketing to choose titles that are more likely to make someone want to watch the video than less likely to want to watch the video. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And only a very sort of myopic framework would really focus on those as the issues. Now, with regard to me interviewing Richard Spencer, this is a long-standing debate, which is, what am I really doing by interviewing an extremist? And the answer is, are they being responsibly platformed, or are they being given a platform to uncritically spout propaganda, which may actually convince people to come over to their side or whatever the case may be? People can disagree about this, but we've been talking about this for years. I believe that if I am well prepared to refute bad ideas, and the ideas are prominent enough that there is some benefit to refuting them or exposing them or whatever the case may be, I have no problem with responsibly platforming those people. And just mentioning the marketplace of ideas or whatever, that's just a talking point. It doesn't actually mean anything. And these talking points being repeated ad nauseum does nothing to actually allow us to think critically about what are the goals of independent media, what are the sort of guidelines that independent media should responsibly adhere to. So if you were just trolling, then I guess I fell for it and I answered it like it was a serious question. I think you raise totally valid questions. What is responsible platforming? What is the goal of independent media shows? What is the line between marketing honestly to get people's attention versus being deceptive, right? And these are all debates that are individual. They are different. I'm willing to have all of them. They're all legitimate. And if you're a good faith actor wanting to discuss them, I invite you to call into the show and we can talk more about it. Make sure to remember that the voicemail number is 219-2-DAVID-P. We've got a fantastic bonus show for you today. Donald Trump now says that homelessness is hurting what he calls real estate prestige. We'll discuss that on the bonus show. We will talk about Richard Stallman, a free software pioneer who I have interviewed before. He has quit his role at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, because of some comments he made on a listserv about Jeffrey Epstein's case. And we will also talk about the resurgence of the Mayor Pete versus Beto battle on gun control. It's not a battle that will be consequential in terms of the Democratic primary. Neither one of them has a shot, but it's interesting nonetheless. All of those stories and much more on today's bonus show. 2 ways to get instant access. Become a member at joinpakman.com or become a patron at patreon.com/David Pakman Show. I'll speak to you on the bonus show, or otherwise, if you don't get access to the bonus show, sadly, I will still be right back here tomorrow with a brand new show.